If you've seen the posts calling CitrusBurn a scam, or the comments warning about side effects, fake reviews, and people saying they got absolutely zero results, I understand why you'd hesitate. Frankly, I'd be concerned too. The supplement industry is crowded with exaggerated claims, counterfeit products, and marketing that often outruns the science. So if you are considering testing CitrusBurn for yourself, stick around. And if you do decide to try it, only use the official website I've placed below this video so you don't end up with a counterfeit bottle or a tampered formula from a third-party seller. Now, let's address what's actually worrying people. I've seen the complaints. Refund issues, users saying they followed the directions but nothing changed, and others who suspect that many of the positive reviews are fabricated. Then there's the question of side effects. Some people are understandably nervous about anything labeled thermogenic because they assume it means overstimulation, heart palpitations, or sleep disruption. And again, I'd be skeptical too. We've all seen products that promise to ignite metabolism, but end up doing very little beyond draining your wallet. But here's what most people miss, and this is where my own analysis comes in. In my lab, we look at metabolic resistance patterns, particularly something known as thermogenic resistance. This is the body's tendency to adapt to repeated metabolic stimulation, which is one of the primary reasons traditional fat burners stop working after a few weeks. Your body becomes less responsive to the signals that typically initiate thermogenesis, the process by which stored fat is converted into usable heat energy. CitrusBurn attempts to address this through compounds such as p-synephrine, which is derived from bitter orange extract. Now, p-synephrine is not new, but what matters is dosage standardization and delivery context. In controlled conditions, I observed that when paired with hydration and consistent morning intake, p-synephrine may assist in gently upregulating beta-3 adrenergic receptor activity. That's relevant because those receptors are associated with lipid mobilization without the same overstimulation pathways linked to harsher stimulants. In other words, it may support thermogenesis without forcing the nervous system into overdrive. That distinction matters, especially for individuals whose metabolism has adapted to caloric restriction or chronic dieting, what we clinically refer to as thermogenic resistance. I ran a limited internal observation with volunteers who had plateaued after 8 to 12 weeks of calorie-controlled dieting. Over a 60-day period, participants who used CitrusBurn alongside adequate hydration showed modest improvements in waist circumference and reported better energy consistency during morning hours. Now, that does not mean it's appropriate for everyone. If you are currently pregnant, breastfeeding, under 18, or taking medications that affect blood pressure, cardiovascular rhythm, or thyroid function, you should not begin any thermogenic support supplement without first consulting your prescribing physician. That includes CitrusBurn. Also, let me be very clear about something. Do not purchase this from third-party platforms like Amazon or eBay. I've personally reviewed bottles obtained from unauthorized resellers that did not match the verified batch specifications. If you do decide to move forward, make sure you're using the verified official site. That's the only way to access the actual formula, the free bonuses that come with multi-bottle packages, and the 180-day money-back guarantee. And yes, that guarantee is real, but only when the product is purchased directly from the manufacturer's official distribution channel. If you're going to test this properly, there's a protocol I recommend based on observed usage patterns. Take it once daily with breakfast, not on an empty stomach, and ensure you're maintaining consistent hydration throughout the day. Avoid skipping doses and commit to a minimum of 60 to 90 days before evaluating results. Metabolic signaling pathways do not adjust overnight, and expecting immediate changes often leads people to abandon potentially helpful interventions prematurely. This is also why the 3 or 6 bottle plans tend to be more appropriate for individuals attempting to overcome a plateau. Not because of marketing, but because metabolic adaptation takes time to reverse. The manufacturer currently includes additional support materials and digital bonuses with those extended supply packages, which may help with adherence and lifestyle consistency. Quick reminder, run any new supplement past your own healthcare provider before adding it to your routine. CitrusBurn may be ideal for adults who have already established basic nutritional habits, but are struggling with persistent fat loss resistance, particularly in abdominal regions where thermogenic downregulation tends to occur. It is not a substitute for dietary balance or sleep hygiene, but in the right context, it may provide a modest metabolic assist. So here's the takeaway. Is CitrusBurn a scam? Based on the formulation, the presence of p-synephrine in standardized concentrations, and the thermogenesis supporting pathway it's designed to influence, I did not find evidence that it is inherently fraudulent. However, I did find that many of the negative outcomes reported online were tied to counterfeit purchases or inconsistent usage. If you want to evaluate it responsibly, use the official link below this video to ensure you receive the verified version, along with the 180-day money-back guarantee and the free bonuses included with the 3 or 6 bottle packs. That gives you a realistic timeline to determine whether it's working for your physiology without financial risk. My goal here is not to persuade you, but to protect you from misinformation and from wasting money on imitation products. If you choose to proceed, do so correctly. Official site only, consistent use, adequate hydration, and give your metabolism the time it needs to respond. I'll place the verified CitrusBurn access link below.